Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Today we're going to do a twin flame reading, but we're going to approach it from the top down. And normally my readings are from the nitty gritty root and up, but we're going to try a little something different. And I figured we could all take a moment to ground. I'm just going to use my sound bowl very lightly. So I'll take a moment. Just breathe wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this, whenever you're listening to this. Know that you are held. Know that you are worthy in whatever state you're in. We're just going to take a few breaths. Inhale through the nose and out the mouth. I feel like I might have needed that more than you guys, but at least we all are sort of vibrating in the same moment, excuse me, together. All right, where do we go today? We're going to start Exalted. We're going to start... Sorry, I should have been more prepared, and I'm not, but that's okay too. I think sometimes a lot of us are very uncomfortable taking up space, especially when we are in some sort of, it's funny, a friend of mine mentioned like my content creation, and I sort of giggled at that idea because yes, although I'm hitting record and capturing a moment in time and sharing it with the collective, it's not really my content, it's what wants to come through. And I think it's really easy on YouTube or any social media platform, any public platform, to get stuck in performance mode. And so I sort of like the idea that we're just having a slow morning and we're taking up real space in real time. If you guys were here sitting in my living room, this is what I would be doing. And something about that feels peaceful and authentic. And I also know you can fast forward if you don't want to deal with my antics. Okay, Spirit, thank you for being with us. We're going to do a twin flame reading today, but I would really like to set the intention that we're going to start zoomed out. We're going to start out with the higher purpose for masculine, feminine, and union energies. I think the density has been just that, incredibly dense, difficult. Both energies have been contending with very deep things. And so let's get some remembrance over this path. Why are we here? Why do we care about this? Why are we called to this? What is this? What does it look like? Okay. All right, Spirit. As always, masculine's on the left, feminine's on the right, and union energies down the center. For masculine, Spirit, I'm not even going to ask the questions because we're starting from the top down. Chamber of Initiation, Spiritual Gifts, Mystery, Enchantment, and Secrets. Ooh, masculines. This is in alignment with the masculine reading I did, 2 days ago now, where it talked about psychic gifts coming online. And I can't help but to honor that if that is happening for you, masculines, then you have healed a critical mass of your inner feminine for that sort of power to come online. All right, we have 2 more just flying all over the place. Okay, we have Galactic Transporter, Adventure, Exploration, and Discovery, and we have the hydrogen atom here Consciousness, beginning, and faith. Beautiful. I'm not going to talk about these. I'm just getting everything out. Thank you, Spirit. And for feminines, for this beloved feminine collective. Thank you. What do we have? We have dimensional planes of perception. Number 1, linear sequencing, hierarchy, time, logic. Oh, God, the personal synchronicities are insane. I had a whole conversation with a friend yesterday about hierarchy and when is it useful and when is it detrimental. I'm excited to see. Is there anything else for feminine spirit? Anything else? Anything else you want to share? Okay, hold on. Thank you. Yes, there is more. All right, we have sealed a fulfilled transformation, alchemy, metamorphosis, karmic completion. I was feeling this in the feminine reading yesterday because of the nature of the place that feminines were at, what they were contending with sort of was an aftermath, meaning feminines, you've come through a massive transformational portal and you're now like cleaning house. What do I mean by that? Just like caring for the day-to-day things. Chop wood, carry water. This is the being present with your bodies, being present with, the house duties, whether, I don't know if you're a parent or not, but, parenting duties and just, being a part of the family unit, whatever that version of family is for you. And then we have, sorry about this. We have Metatron's star, exaltation, brilliance, triumph, and victory. Did I say it or did I not say it at the beginning of the reading that we are going to start from an exalted state? Did I say that? Because it was in my head. This is exactly, Spirit, thank you so much for being with us and for reminding us where we're headed and where we came from. This is so important on this path to not just stay in the intensity and density of the work. We have to remember, we have to return to our grand why, right? When you've lost your why, you've lost your way. I forgot, there's a pretty well-known writer that said that, and forgive me, I don't know who said it, but I always really love that, and it's so true. Part of my zoomed out mission, and if you've been following me for a while, you hear me say it all the time, but if I had to give you an elevator pitch of my soul's mission here, my mission is to support the shift of collective consciousness towards authenticity, unconditional love, and infinite oneness. Now, when people talk about consciousness, I think it's sort of like a hot button word in these days. We have to remember that consciousness is really neutral. It's just an empty vessel. And the collective consciousness is just what's in the vessel, what's in the planet hive mind at this stage of the journey, what's here right now. That's it. And so part of my mission was it's not just to become more conscious, because we can do that in many different ways, and a lot of those ways can be very harmful. So part of built into my mission is to shift collective consciousness towards authenticity. That's such a huge pillar of my foundation, that whatever it looks like, that we show up true to who we are. And then unconditional love, to honor that we are all redeemable, that we can call upon grace at any stage of this journey. And infinite oneness, to honor, sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed. I always am very moved when I talk about my mission, because it takes up that much space in my heart. It's just so intense. And then infinite oneness, to honor the actual truth, to eat, sleep, breathe the truth that we are all one, that there is no other. And it's one vibration to say that all is one, right? A lot of people would just say that. It's a whole nother frequency to embody it in a somatic way, like to live oneness somatically, to live oneness through your mind, through your heart, through your love, through your creation. It's a whole nother, it's a horse of another color. Okay, let's get some union energy. Spirit, what is the core of the union energies? Where are we going? What can we celebrate? What can we celebrate? What a beautiful question. Thank you for that. Okay, anything else? Well, we're getting an avalanche. Bear with me. We've gotten someone launching. Okay. I laugh because for the union, whoops, what am I dropping? I'm dropping a bunch of stuff. I laugh for the union energies. We have seal of individuality, authenticity, uniqueness, and integration. I'm very moved when spirit really speaks, and it's just very touching. Okay, sorry, I'll stop crying. Sorry, let me just sit with that for a moment. It's taking up so much space. Do you see? I need to hold this up for you all. First of all, these cards are incredibly I'm trying to zoom in on that for you. First of all, these cards are incredibly beautiful, but do you see seal of individuality, authenticity, uniqueness, and integration? Do you see the imagery of this reading, of this card, of this message? What's very interesting, first of all, it reduces to an 8, which is like the infinity symbol. And the visual I'm getting is that this is a kaleidoscope, right? The human vessel is like a kaleidoscope. The human soul, it gives us constant movement. It's a living, breathing organism of experience and perception and authenticity and feeling and creation and death and rebirth over and over and over again. It's this thing that's in constant motion, never still. And if we look at this, it's reminding me very much, first of all, it says star body matrix, multidimensional consciousness, holographic information. This is you. You are this vibration. This almost reminds me like if somebody gonged a crystal and it's like vibrating and this image was able to capture the vibration of it. Again, another nod to that we are in constant vibration. We are constantly emitting a frequency, whether we're conscious of it or not. Oh, I just realized that is also reduces to an 8 card. Another infinity, this conscious, constant movement. And then we have Andromedan, Stargate, invention, innovation, scientific pursuits. Okay, wow. Okay, hold on, I'm getting excited. And then we have seal of harmonic order, harmony, cooperation, dynamic interaction. This couldn't be a more beautiful reading. And I have to, I'm so sorry, I forget her name that left the comment about the density. And I'm so grateful you said that because it really called me to something higher. It called me to something deeper of like, yes, the work is always going to be the work. The work is always there. And we can always put our inner work on the bookshelf. We could always take that book off the bookshelf at any time we want to open it up, look at our past, look at our childhoods, do that sort of more intentional work. It's always going to be there. But it's so important that we remember to celebrate and rest in what we're doing here. Why are we called to this twin flame path of inner union? Why is this even a thing in society? Why is it like a trending thing? I crack up when I hear like celebrities talk about twin flame. And, you know, I don't judge anyone because everyone arrives at perfect timing, right? Everyone is called to the exact work that they're here to do in the world. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because I'm setting up the shot. Okay, that was bothering me. This is so big. Let's just go through it again. Authenticity, uniqueness, integration, multidimensional consciousness. Again, remember what I said about consciousness, that consciousness is just like a vessel. And what's in it is co-created by all of us. So even though we might have some enlightened being in our consciousness, it's probably not a critical mass of, it's not enough to tip the scale so that, you know, it reaches greater consciousness. That's why I say I'm here to shift collective consciousness towards, you know, it's intentional. There's a direction that I would like to shift it towards. And so, sorry, I'm just so distracted by these cards. Let me just drop in for a moment. I really love this cooperation, dynamic interaction. Again, I mean, you know, it's readings like this where I know I'm actually channeling something. I know that might sound crazy to you, as I do a reading almost every day and I do this all day long, but I'm still a human, right? I'm still a human that is in the world of 3D matter. And I have a spirit. We have a greater spirit, right? All is one. But there are these moments that kind of cut through, that just slice through the matrix and just give me confirmation of what's flowing through. So dynamic interaction, that is exactly speaking to what I mentioned earlier, that we are in constant motion and constant vibration. We are a living, breathing organism that is constantly changing. We are changing and being changed, right? Anything we observe, this is the quantum entanglement, which actually is very connected to the twin flame narrative, because, it talks about two energies being affected, that are connected, being affected by one another at a distance, and also that the observer actually participates in the thing being observed. So the very nature of observing something, you are changing that thing that you're observing. So it's almost impossible to experience or view something in its natural state, because our sheer body of energy will affect the thing we are observing. So in essence, it's like, you matter. You matter wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you're learning, whatever you're experiencing, you are affecting the collective. It's impossible for you not to understand the amount of power you hold every day that you wake up and your feet touch the ground. You hold so much power to affect the vibration, to, again, if we are in constant vibration anyway, if we're always moving and always, shaking and creating, and death and rebirth is in constant, it's a revolving door, right? It's never stagnant. Because of this constant motion, you also have infinite, hold on, I'm getting tongue twisted because I'm excited. You also have infinite opportunity to make a new choice, right? This is the hologram of free will. Hologram's not the right word, Spirit. What am I trying to say? Thank you. This is the crystalline dodecahedron, constantly spinning, multi-sided, always in motion, always giving us new planes of perception to view a circumstance, a person, an experience, an idea, where there's always like 10 more sides of the situation that our limited perception cannot access. So because we know that, because I'm telling you this ahead of time, I'm hoping it plants a seed of humility, that we have no clue, what the full scope of our power is. Honestly, I don't know if we'll ever know. I don't know if we'll ever know until maybe we're back in the part of the quantum field. I have no way of knowing that. But I have to trust that through this sort of cooperation with the quantum field, it will give aligned birth to innovation, invention, like new societal infrastructures. I try to keep saying this in every reading. This actually came out on air. Oh my God, that's hilarious. During a reading for you guys, it came out the first time I ever channeled this, that again, we are holding a frequency of a planet that does not exist yet. Of course it's painful. Of course it's lonely. Of course it's isolating. You are the only one of your kind. You are doing so. You are vibrating, most likely, if you are someone that is, I don't use the word starseed, but that's coming through right now. If you have been chosen to embody a certain light, usually those people are placed all around the planet and they're far apart from one another. Why? Because they send you, you were sent, or you signed a soul contract that you chose to anchor that frequency in that weird little town, at that weird part of the country that needs that light, right? You go, sorry. That's deeply moving to me. because I think it's true. And I'm also, it's my, it's my empathy reared up right now. I just want to honor how painful that journey is. I walk that path to hold a frequency of a planet that does not exist yet in an environment that is very volatile to that frequency. It's sort of built into the job, right? It's like your frequency, just by you existing, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to teach. You don't have to preach. You don't have to get on a soapbox. By you just existing and vibrating in that frequency, you will start irritating people that are committed to a different frequency. You will start, people, you're not rubbing people the wrong way, but they are rubbed the wrong way because something about your frequency is calling them to something higher. It's calling them to a deeper accountability. It's mirroring back to them all the places that they aren't like you or aren't able to access what you're able to access. This can be really triggering for a lot of people and traumatizing for the person holding the frequency. So I just wanted to name that and share my compassion and empathy for the brutality of this work. I'm shocked that came out of my mouth, actually. It's funny. I know I'm really channeling also when Karen the human gets touched by the message. It's like I'm so unblended from what's moving through me. I get to hear it like you're hearing it. And it's beautiful. It's pretty powerful. Okay. Spirit, thank you so much for these messages. You did not disappoint. Thank you for always showing up for us. I'm not ending the reading. I just am so overwhelmed by this beautiful journey. I told you I was going to start from the top down, and that's exactly what Spirit gave us. Okay, let's drop into masculine, feminine. Let me wipe my tears, get them out of my blurry eyeballs. All right, masculines, chamber of initiation, spiritual gifts, mystery, enchantment, secrets, galactic transporter, adventure, exploration, discovery, hydrogen atom, consciousness, beginning, and faith. Masculines, as your gifts anchor in your body, as your solar plexus starts to churn and function at a consistent rate, the visual they're showing me is like gears in a clock, how when one moves, they all move, and they don't have to move fast, and there's nowhere to go. There's no destination. There's just a function. And so as you anchor your spiritual gifts, as you surrender to the mystery, and dare I say, make love to the mystery, it will boost your self-esteem, and that little boost of self-esteem is enough to initiate the gears turning in your system. And you will get to go and explore these different parts of self, the planet, everything. And nothing really has to change around you because you have transformed and changed so much. So don't be surprised. And especially masculines, don't get discouraged if you find yourself experiencing the exact same situation. Again, it might not have changed, but you have drastically changed. So pay attention to the way you come into relationship with these things. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's a difficult relationship you have with a parent of your children. Maybe it's, struggles with your mission and purpose. Pay attention, just witness how you show up in the world. Witness how you respond, because I guarantee it's going to look very different because of where you're at right now. Yeah, you're at, I thank you, Spirit. My attention is drawn to this hydrogen atom. It's the beginning of something new for you, masculines. Thank you, Spirit. They just reminded me that this reading is starting from the exalted state, dropping down inward. And I'm so used to going the other way. So they corrected my order of operations. It's really powerful that this is a number 1 card. You're in a state of flux, masculines. There's a lot of change moving through you. And I'm just this is really hard for me. I'm really struggling. If the exalted state is a new beginning in consciousness, then that is the reason, that is part of your mission and purpose. I'm trying to reverse engineer it, and I don't know why I'm struggling doing that, but we're reverse engineering these messages to honor that this is where you're going to end up. You are the great initiator, masculines. When you have trust in self, it allows you to access your intuition and to have faith in something beyond self. And the moment that clicks for you, masculines, the moment you come into this beautiful alignment, you will be vibrating in total surrender and total faith and trust. And with all of that beautiful submission and surrender, so many new beginnings will arrive for the planet. I don't even know how to describe what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing a crystalline structure, sort of like these two, but 3-dimensional, and each flat side is unfolding. So it's like a 3D object that can unfold flat. Oh my God, you know what it's reminding me of, actually? I don't know if you guys know when you're little. Have you ever seen these? Have you ever seen these toys? So it's sort of reminding me of these, like, maybe, this is this consciousness, masculines. I mean, this is really for all of us. This is this consciousness. And I think what it's also saying is, like, we're starting here. We're starting here in this flat sort of experience, and we have to trust that there's something greater. We have to trust that there's something different that can happen. And this sort of unfurling like this reminds me of the lotus flower, the many-petaled lotus flower. And we have no clue that it could be like this sort of tensegrity, if you will. And this reminds me of a toroidal field, or a toroid, I forget what it's called, but sort of the flow of energy and oneness. All right, I'm going to stop playing with toys. Very interesting, and I forgot I even had this. I have all these little, this is from my childhood actually, but I have all these things for my clients to fiddle with if they need something to fidget with as we dive deep. But yeah, beautiful masculines. I really like that I'm taking my time with this reading. It feels like it calls for reverence. This is not a joke. This is not, this is our lives, This is what we're committed to doing on the planet, so many of us. And by the way, I really appreciate your comments and your engagement with my channel. My channel rarely grows. It's been sort of at this number of subscribers for a long time, and I don't fully engage with YouTube and really try to build. I just kind of show up, and so I really appreciate you being here. And if you know anyone that likes to go this deep, I totally honor that my readings are not for everyone. They're for a very specific type of person. And so if you know anyone, please share my channel, like, subscribe, do all the things. It would be so greatly appreciated. And please engage with me in the comments. Like, I'm here and available and in service to this work. Okay, feminines, let's see. Resequencing, hierarchy, time, and logic, simultaneously nonlinear processing. I find it very interesting. Hold on, let me finish. Exaltation, brilliance, triumphant victory, alchemy, metamorphosis, karmic completion. What's hilarious, we have dimensional planes of perception 1 and 8. We have a lot of 8 cards here. And also we have linear sequencing and nonlinear processing. This is incredibly valuable to really, let's really drop in. Stop what you're doing. My readings, by the way, as you've seen, they're usually not like if you're really doing the work as it's flowing through me, you usually can't be doing multiple things at the same time. But if you are, I invite you to really just pause. If you're on a walk, just stand still and just really feel this. The feminine duality is the linear sequencing, right? That might be even the inner masculine way of working, and non-linear processing, a feminine spiral of surrendering to the alchemical process that is taking place. I just think this is literally the full embodiment, the full spectrum of the feminine collective. This is like what feminines have been doing for so long. We have been sort of battling the hierarchy and understanding that in terms of direction of, like, when you think of an order of operations, there's an order of operations for most things that would be beneficial, right? It's not like we can accomplish everything in all different orders. It's just not possible, right? In order to build a house, you can't start with the roof, right? There's some things on the planet that have to have a certain sequence in order to bring about the highest and best possible outcome. So in that capacity, a hierarchy is necessary. I think where our society gets it so screwed up is when we associate hierarchy with power, right? And once that power drops into the realm of matter, into the 3D plane of perception, and people start to feel that division, that divisiveness between, whether it's communities or countries or whatever, all hell breaks loose, right? So feminines, you are sort of the harbinger of this honorable hierarchy, this rightful way of perceiving the world around you, to understand, let me say it really directly, you understand the value of nonlinear processing. You understand the value of the spiral. How many, I don't know how many feminines are listening, but part of the feminine flow, have you ever talked to one of your girlfriends and you're just talking, and you're like, I don't even know how we got here, but somehow you find your way back home to the original part? And I have so many women friends who do this exact thing. It's not an accident. This is part of the wisdom. This is part of... They're showing me a spiral, and they're showing me someone bending down to pick up different flowers and different berries and different twigs. Maybe they're making a nest. I don't know. The vision didn't go that far, but it's almost like... Okay, let me go back to the house analogy. Say you're building a house and all you collect are screws. You're just like, yeah, I'm going to build a house. Okay, I need screws. I need all the screws. If all you're doing is collecting screws, you're quite literally screwed. You need so many other materials. You need 2x4s, and you need plywood, and you need the house wrap to protect it from the weather. You need a million things to build a house. And so there's something here, feminines, I'm really trying to exalt you. I'm putting the feminine processing, the way you operate in the world, on the throne. It's your rightful throne to be there, and it's up to you to imbue yourself with value, to value how you operate, to value your way in the face of a society that has put down your way for so long, right? How many times, like when I think about corporate America, and how many times did like women have to, cut and paste themselves and edit themselves to be able to sort of compete in the sort of, like, I'm thinking in the 80s when like women were very empowered and having all these corporate jobs on like Wall Street, and they're entering these rooms where there haven't been women. I mean, there's been many times this has happened, but for some reason that's the visual. They're actually showing me the hilarious fashion, like the huge shoulder pads. It's hysterical, the images I get. But this is so important that we put this, your nonlinear processing on the throne, feminines. I know I've been harping on it, but I can't hammer this in enough. You've known the whole time that you need more than screws to build the house, and everyone around you, society is like, no, you'll be fine. Like, just keep buying screws. You'll get there eventually. And so it has kept the feminine wisdom, the feminine ways of gnosis. It's kept us spinning our wheels in the wrong direction. Essentially, it's kept us occupied from our way of doing things, from the way we've always known how to do things. Really powerful feminines. Simultaneity. Did I say that right? Simultaneity. Feminines know. Think about mothers. Mothers absolutely immediately know that mothering does not happen one task at a time. You mothers are like an 8-armed octopus. There's things going on all the time. You could be cooking a meal, but you're listening to the kids in the other room. You might be prepping freezer meals for the week. You might be on the phone or on hold with your child's doctor's office or the school, or there's things. It's a total assault on the senses. Motherhood rips you open. It does not ask. It demands that you meet it on all of these planes of perception. You are a multidimensional creature. Mothers are multidimensional creatures. I'm not saying fathers aren't, but I feel like it's built into the infrastructure of feminine awareness that we're constantly moving. Okay. I need to stop talking. Wow, this is a lot. You know what I didn't look at? I didn't look at the shadow position. I was trying to keep it exalted, but let's just be authentic to the energy. What do we got? We have Chamber of Incantation, Invocation, Spellcraft, Summoning, Ceremony. I find it very interesting that in all of this sort of quantum whatever, we have this very ritualized, it's another 8 card. We have so many 8 cards. Spirit, where do you want me to go with this? This message feels so out of place, but remember, the unconscious position is, what are we pushing into the shadows? Maybe that you're this powerful. I think what we're pushing into the shadows is that we aren't alone, that we have ancient wisdom within us to invoke power, to invoke beings, energies, the quantum grid itself to support us. Oh, thank you, Spirit. For a very small part of you, some of you aren't recognizing how much power you have over your self-esteem in your life. Okay, I'm just going to say this briefly. You need to really watch the words that you use to speak about yourself and your life. Some of you don't understand how much power your tongue has. So that when you are having a bad day and you say something like, life never works out for me, or something like, people, I'm never welcome wherever I go. Or when you say these things, you are literally invoking that experience into your life. So really wake up to your language. Wake up to the power of your words. Wake up to your power, period. Okay. Beautiful. Where else do you want to go, Spirit? This is a lot. I'm just going to get a Divine Beloved card. All right, Spirit, what do we need to leave on? This was a delicious, delicious reading. It was a lot. And this is one of those weird readings that not everyone's going to like, but hey, this is probably the core and the depth of my work. This reading is what I love to do the most. Okay, we have uncertainty. May I live in the now and relax peacefully into the unfolding, knowing all the pieces of the puzzle will fall into place at the right time and not a moment before. Yeah, can I trust? Can we trust? Thank you. And then we have offering. I am peaceful. Let me, divine beloved, offer all desires to you, knowing the right outcomes are already selected. Grant me true surrender and peace. Let me only be a vehicle for your will in every way. I'm seeing a theme developing of profound faith, profound surrender. Anything else, Spirit? One more, please. One more. Thank you. And then we have evolution. I welcome change. Change me, divine beloved, into one who knows we can evolve and be open at any age. Let me welcome change in uplifting and surprising ways. Allow me to trust the process, diving ever deeper into your love. I'm going to leave it there. This was a beautiful, beautiful reading. Thank you for being with me. If you need any support, you know where to find me. I hope this was useful. And if you enjoyed this reading, or if you have questions, or if you want to, debate about the crystalline structures that are the building blocks of our existence, put it in the comments below. I'm sending you all so much love, and I will see you in the next one.